Hey everyone, it is your boy Jack here, and in today's video, I'm going to be unboxing this. Boom! It is the January 2020 Comic Boxer subscription box. It's here. It's been here for a while. I just haven't had time to unbox it because, you know, life happens. But I'm finally unboxing this box. I'm excited. I'm so excited to unbox this box because, like, after December's box, and getting this box in, and knowing that, like, the Donny Cates Thor series is coming around the corner. I know this box, or I know February's box has to carry it. And I'm really excited to unbox this box. Now, for those of you who do not know about the Comic Boxer subscription box, it's a subscription box dedicated to comic book readers and everything, people who are interested in either really cool variant or exclusive comics, some people who are interested in comics that relate to sort of hype beast or big events like House and Powers of X or War of the Realms, and lastly but not least, it's comics that for people who are just looking for some good comics to read. All three of those kinds of comics are in this box. Lastly but not least, so before we actually start this and unbox this box, I want to let you know that all the pricing and information is down below in the description. And as well, I sort of want to throw out some of the Comic Boxer predictions for what comics I think will be in this month's box. So I'm thinking we're gonna get the Thor #1. I just mentioned it before. The Donny Cates run of Thor. We're gonna get the Revenge of or possibly get the Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm sort of hoping on that because I like Cosmic Ghost Rider. Guardians of the Galaxy issue #1 by Al Ewing. Venom Good Sons, the one-shot comic. Conan, Serpent War, Spider-Man 2099, or one of the 2099 comics, and stuff. Doctor Strange #1, or Year of the Villain, or one of the Infected series from DC. Those are my predictions, but let's start and unbox this box. So once you cut the tape, you open up the box. This is what you see. You got the bubble wrap, which I am popping, and then you also got the comics in the iconic blue wrapping paper here, and you got the comics here wrapped up in a plastic sleeve. So these are all the comics from this month's box. Let's take a look at them. So the first comic we have here is this one. Ooh, okay, so let's see. Let's hope that this focuses. There we go. It is obviously Superman. It's from DC. Why is this not focused? Okay, it's better. This is Superman. This is DC Comics and everything. I love this cover. I'll say that. I'll be the first to say that. I love this cover. It's really cool. Let's take a look at it though. Okay, this is, ooh, I like this. I like this a lot. So firstly, this is probably my first Superman comic ever, I think. Don't quote me 100%, but basically I think. I've had comics where I have Superman, but this is like the first ever, like, Superman's ahead of this comic and all that kind of stuff. So this is a reveal to the world, Superman issue #18, priced at $3.99. You got Brian Michael Bendis being the writer here, and everything. This is this comic here. I really like it. It's really cool. I like the cover. I like that it's sort of just simple and everything as well. It's a really cool cover. Now, in the recap section, I'll go over why this comic was important or why they picked it. So yeah, but overall right now, I really like this cover. Moving forward to the next comic here, comic #2. It is this one. And, ooh, it is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ooh, I'm excited. Like, I wouldn't say I'm, like, fully excited, but, like, I am definitely excited about this comic because it's been getting a lot of hype. This series has been getting a lot of hype. I hear it's really good. One of my fellow subscribers, one of the subscribers to the channel, but I also subscribe to him, Fred Hall Direct Edition. He's been reading this. He says it's been really good. This series has also gotten a lot of hype because they released a new turtle, and she's sort of like Wolverine and everything. So I really like this. I think this is really cool. I like the cover with the red and everything. Let's take a look back here. Ooh, okay. This is awesome. So this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as I've said before, issue number 100. Heck yes. I think you got Kevin Eastman on this writing. This is at the City at War, the end. It is the end, obviously, of the City at War type thing. And this is so cool. I love this. This is just so cool. Like, firstly, as a key, this is so cool because it's like I'm pretty sure this is it has to have some kind of key or some kind of significance to it. But add on to the price, add on to the actual point here with this comic as well. It's the 100th issue, so it's issue 100. Like, come on, like it's like issue 1000 of Detective Comics and stuff. Besides that, one other thing I'll talk about with this comic is it's square bound, meaning that it's not regularly just sort of stapled and stuff. It's square bound, so it has a thicker edge to it, which I sort of support as well. That's so cool. I like that. Moving forward here, we only got 5 comics in this month's box, but I am in full support of that. So yeah. To this next comic here, it is this one. Ooh, okay, this looks like a Deadpool comic. You got Deadpool being him, sitting on a freaking throne on top of something, looking like a sea monster or something. Ooh, okay, let's take a look at this. So this is Deadpool issue number 1, Legacy issue number 316, priced at $4.99 US. You got, Deadpool here, obviously, sitting on the throne, all that kind of stuff. This looks like some kind of sea monster or creature that he is sitting on right now. I want to hear the story about that. And as well, lastly but not least, I don't really know any of the artists or anything. This is like a good read that's sort of coming under the radar and everything, but I'm okay with it. This is pretty cool though. I like it. Like, when can you not like Deadpool? Like, I've read a few Deadpool comics and stuff, and I like Deadpool. He's an interesting character, especially for the X-Men, because he doesn't really fit in with the X-Men, but he has to at the same time. And it's like, that's the thing that I like about him, is he just fits in because he sort of has to. And like, they just sort of find a way to sort of finagle him in it. Especially with the whole, I remember the War of the Realms comics, like, there was a few scenes there where it's just like, I was like, oh my god, that's such a Deadpool quote though. Like, I think, I forget, I think he was like fighting in Australia or something in the War of the Realms comics. Slight spoilers, but like the comic came out like 8 months ago, so like that's sort of a spoiler at your own risk. But like, I think he's like fighting like space goblins or something. I forget what it was, but he said like a quote, and I just sort of like, it cheered me up. But yeah, besides that though, let me stop rambling. We got 2 more comics to go in our 5. Let's take a look at this one. Boom. Okay. Ooh, okay. I immediately recognized this comic because like I sometimes saw the Stadium Comics website because like I like keeping track of their exclusives and stuff. This is obviously Vampironica issue number 1. It's a Stadium Comics exclusive cover. It's obviously tributing Spider-Man. Once again, this is something I love about this box, is the fact that they have exclusive tribute covers to Archie and everything. And like, I'm not a big fan of Archie, but I'm a big fan of these tribute covers. Like, probably my favorite one is the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 7 or 8, where it's like or the Amazing Spider-Man tribute covers Jamal Campbell did, where it's like the tribute cover to the first appearance of Deadpool and the first appearance of Gambit. Like, come on, like, that's pretty sick. This is really cool though. I'm not sure what this is a tribute cover to, but I think this is pretty cool either way. So yeah, I'm gonna assume it's Spider-Man though. But yeah, besides that, yeah, that's about it. It's Vampironica. Like, I'll say this, I'm not gonna read this comic, or like, I don't really have any interest in myself in Vampironica, or Vampirella, or like anything like that. I just feel like it's like, I like the Jughead the Hunger, that's probably my favorite one. Or even Archie the Afterlife, I'm willing to try, but like I feel like Vampironic is just so like cheesy, and I don't really like vampires overall. Like I'm just like, whatever. The only time I like vampires though is with like I think it's like Into the Shadows or something. It's that Taika Waititi movie where he parodies vampires. That movie. So yeah. Besides that though, let's move forward and let me shut my mouth for a minute. And let's look at our final comic here in this month's box. It is this one. Ooh. Ooh, I think I recognize this one. I think so. I'm a bit foggy by it. But it is a cool cover. I like it. This is like a thicker book too, I'll have to admit. It's not as thick as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's a hefty book, to say the least. Let's take a look though. Oh, okay, I like this, Ooh, Black Label too, ooh, okay. So this is The Dark Knight Returns, The Golden Child. This is a DC Black Label comic. It's written by Frank Miller, who I believe originally wrote The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, I think it was The Dark Knight Returns, and like I think The Dark Knight, don't quote me, and everything, but ooh, let me just say, this cover is just sick. Oh, I love this cover. Like, let's break it down. Let me break down why I love this cover. Okay, so firstly, you have this really good like sort of foreground, middle ground, background kind of setup, and especially with the foreground, you have these really you have these sort of smaller details of characters. I'll put the cover on screen. I think that's probably the better option. But you have like the foreground, the middle ground, the background, and it sort of sets up where it sort of guides the eye really well and everything. And it's just really cool, and I really love this Batgirl costume and everything too. It's different. It has a bit more of a story to it compared to the typical Batman costume. And yeah, the only question I have for myself, or I have about the comic and stuff, which I'll sort of go through with the recap section, is whether or not this comic is, or like how this comic ties into The Dark Knight Returns, or whether or not I can just read this comic and stuff without any kind of sort of past or prior knowledge, sort of like House of X, where it's like you could read House of X or House and Powers of X and enjoy it, but if you're like a longtime X-Men reader, or if you like really want to do the research on why it's significant, then it's a lot more. So that's a question I have, is whether or not it is relevant in everything. So yeah, but this is really cool though. I like these comics. I really do. I like completely came out of nowhere. We got a DC Black Label comic, which I'm supporting. I like the Black Label. I have to admit, a bit better. So yeah, so we've unboxed all the comics in this month's box, and I really do like them. I think it's really good. I like the variety, and I know it's sort of like Marvel and DC, and we got that IDW comic in there, but there is unfortunately no recap card, and I know I meant to email or Stadium Comics and be like, what's up with the recap card? Is that like a dead thing from the subscription box? Like what's going on here? But I didn't really have time to, so that's just me being me. But I'm definitely gonna try to and stuff and find an answer about that come March's box. But when it comes to right now in the recap section, I'm going to take some time and sort of do some research about why these comics are important. And then I'll get back to you in more of an audio voiceover form for part 2 of this video, which is going to be going on in a few seconds from now. So yeah, don't be shocked if it magically transitions from like me to like a voiceover of me sort of explaining why these comics are important, or why these comics were put into this box. So yeah, I'll be back in a second, aka right now. Hey everyone, it is your boy Jack here, coming at you with the second half of the video, the recap section. In this part of the video, I'm going to be taking a look at the comics in this month's subscription box and answer the question on why they were put into this box. So let's take a look at comic number 1. Coming in at number 1, it is Deadpool by Kelly Thompson, the current writer of the Captain Marvel series, and Chris Bachalo. This comic centers around Deadpool wanting to defeat the King of the Monsters and his minions on Staten Island. This comic retails for $4 in high grade, which isn't really anything special with the story in mind. The only thing that has me excited about the comic is the fact that Kelly Thompson is writing, and she's a current Captain Marvel writer for this run. So I'm excited about that, but besides that, those are my thoughts on comic number 1. Comic number 2 is Superman issue number 18. It's written by Brian Michael Bendis and art by Eva Reese. The comic's story centers around Clark Kent having to reveal his identity as Superman to the world after his family was left scattered across space. With this comic, the price is around $4 in high grade, but what makes this comic potentially special is this story could potentially be turned into a movie franchise, since there's been multiple times that Clark Kent has had to reveal his identity and everything. But looking at the Shazam movie, them having to adapt the New 52 comics, there's potential for something to happen here. Overall, though, I like this classic Superman cover, and as well, based off the preview pages, I'm pumped to see how this story will go. Moving forward to the next comic in this month's box, it is Vampironica, New Blood issue number 1. This comic is a Stadium Comics exclusive tribute cover done by Julius Ohata, and it is a tribute to Spider-Man issue number 1's cover by Todd McFarlane. There are only 400 copies available for the copy I got, and if you want the Virgin variant, that has 250 copies. Now, one reason why this comic received a tribute cover is that the comic story spins out of the Jughead the Hunger vs. Vampironica story, finding Vampironica back in her universe, trying to rediscover herself. Keeping this in mind, this comic retails on Stadium Comics for $14.99 on their website, but you could probably sell this comic for $20 to $25 with a CGC grade on the comic. My thoughts about this comic is that it has a cool cover, and I love these retro covers since it's a great addition to the collection, and it's always a great way to look back at comic book history. And I'm interested to see possibly how this story will go. With that being said, let's take a look at the second last comic here in this box, comic number 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 100. Now, this comic was put into this box since it's the anniversary issue of the series. This comic also ends the City at War storyline. And finally, this comic is the comic before the key introduction of Mona Lisa, the new female turtle coming to the series. Now, this comic is the regular cover, which retails for $8 highs, but if you were lucky to get the Mike Vasquez variant, which is limited to only 10 copies, you could sell that comic for $1,300 or 1.3K for a high-grade copy. Now, the main reason that is because the Mike Vasquez variant is a cover homage to the 1986 special issue published by Metropolis Comics. But I don't have that cover, unfortunately, but I am so pumped to read this comic. One of the YouTubers I follow, and I've shouted out on the channel before, Fred Hall Direct Edition, he's been praising this comic left, right, and center. And like, your boy really wants to check this comic out now for that reason. I've heard nothing but good things about this series as well through comic from Perry's Comics as well, and I know Comic Tom has talked about it as well, so I'm really excited for this comic as well. So yeah. Lastly but not least, so let's take a look at the last comic in this month's box, The Dark Knight Returns, The Golden Child. Now, this comic takes place 3 years after The Dark Knight number 3, The Master Race, and it follows Laura and Carrie Kelly trying to eliminate a growing threat in Gotham. I'm really excited about this comic for a few reasons. One, since the artwork looks sick just based off of the preview pages, shout out to Raphael Grandpa. Two, Frank Miller is back on writing this story, and it isn't just some reboot with another writer, but it's the same writer. And finally, it's DC Black Label, which means they have a lot of creative freedom compared to the regular DC label. Now, besides that, the story, the comic is worth $6 at a high grade, which is just regular cover price, but like I'm okay with that. To be 100% honest, I don't think it's going to be going up or anything. There's not going to be any, there's no potential for it to go up. But I think it is a really cool comic. I'm really happy it's in this month's box. But besides that though, those are all the comics in this month's comic box or subscription box for January 2020. And I gotta say, I really like the good amount of diversity in this comic selection. But let me know in the pinned comment down below your thoughts. As well, feel free to check out the comic of the week, FarSector issue number 1. Check the description on why it's my favorite comic of the week. And besides that, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to do all the typical YouTube stuff, like the liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Besides that, you guys have a good night. Stay informed and stay safe and everything with the coronavirus. Have a good night. Bye!